No more changing stations, you came to the right place. Turn off your televisions, they'll just get in the way. It's time to get to the point on 107.3. Ike's is on the air with locals only.
Central Kentucky's rock station 107.3 The Point, locals only with the Kentucky Headhunters. And what's going on, Richard? We got a big show. We got you guys going in the Kentucky Hall of Fame. What's going on?
Well, I know that we are over here at your house, and we had a good time getting here. Between your directions and my directions and Fred's, it was quite a little afternoon getting here, but we have arrived, and we have a lot going on, man. We're very excited about it. Of course, the big news the next week is we're playing the Plaza Theater. And so everyone knows, you can get on the Point's website and get information to get tickets, but we're down to 30 tickets right now. But our favorite station, the rock and roll station, because that's what we like is rock and roll, is we're here to talk about it with you. And we're going to play the Plaza Theater, April the 6th. Doors open at 7. We play at 8. We might play till 10 or 11, whatever, because we're the only act there. It's a night with, and we've never done that around home in a long time, so we're very excited about it. Get to play a lot of old stuff and a bunch of the new stuff off the new Dixie Lullabies album. And as you mentioned, yes, we have actually, I don't know how we got in there, but they've actually inducted us last week, 2 weeks ago, into the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. And this thing doesn't go by record sales, or it's kind of like the Grammys. It doesn't go by record sales. It doesn't go by prestige or any of that stuff. It goes by longevity, perseverance, your ability to outlast the storms. And I guess they figured that we've weathered enough of them, so they're going to let us in. And it's quite an honor because we're going in with a great rock and roll band from the 70s called Exile, who were big influences on us, and especially before Jimmy Stokely's passing. And anybody that doesn't know who Exile, a lot of your listeners are too young to remember them, but don't go by the country things they do. Go back to 1972, 75, and check out some of the YouTube stuff when Jimmy was in the band. And he was just, he could have been Mick Jagger, and he could have been somebody else. He was a great lead singer, and you wouldn't think there would be that kind of charisma come out of Kentucky, but he truly had it. And we're very excited to be going in with them. And, you know, Bill Monroe, there's a lot of legends, a lot of things that maybe the kids wouldn't know, but a lot of cool rock acts from the 60s and 70s that are involved in it, the Everly Brothers and that sort of act. So, it's quite an honor. I mean, as great as the Grammys is if you're from Kentucky, so which we have one of those, but this is a big one.
Big one here. Let's talk about the new record. The new record doing pretty well for you at this point, and Little Miss Bluesbreaker. Tell us how that song came along. That song is a little bit different than stuff you've kind of done in the past. It's a lot more bluesy than a lot of the music.
Well, you know, to start off with, we decided to go into the practice house and do this record, and so which is, for the folks who don't know, is an old farmhouse on our family farm that our grandmother gave us in the late 60s, and we've always wanted to record an album there. This was our 12th record that we've put out, and, you know, we could have done in the early 90s when if things were popping left and right, we could have brought Atlantic Records truck in and done that, but to be honest with you, we didn't want anybody around. We were fed up. We just want, if we wanted to do that, we'd want to do it when we were in charge, not some record company or video company or all these people wanting to document it and all that sort of thing. And we just wanted to go in there and just be what we are when nobody's ever around. And it came out great. And we will, you know, I don't think we'll ever record anywhere else again, because with the technology of computers and that sort of thing, we can actually put these tracks down and then go to a major studio and mix them. And, you know, you're speaking of Little Miss Bluesbreaker, what we tried to do is this is 44 years we've been playing together, three of us, me, Fred, and Greg. And, of course, Doug came around. He's been with us off and on for he came in back like 17 years ago. He left for a while and he came back, but and then Andy was there, and it's it's family affair with the Headhunters, like Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys or something. But I think that what we captured on this album right here was something from every venue of every period of what we were doing in our career. And if you listen to every album, you'll say, oh, that sounds like something from this album. And it's not like a mosh podge or something like that. It was just, it came out, we were lucky. It came out with all the different kind of music. You can tell it reads like a book. And, it's like if you read a book and you get to chapter 3 and it's missing, then where do you go from there? So you can't.
We kind of let our guard down, let our roots come in from the 70s a lot on that song,
Yeah.
That's the kind of type thing Itchy Brother was playing, and it's just straight ahead, balls to the wall, straight ahead song, about of that type,
rock and roll.
Rock and roll, I had to say it, but we kind of let our guard down, enjoyed ourselves up there at night while we was playing that. He come up with the song Bluesbreaker, that song, the Bluesbreaker, the title of the song probably comes from really, as far as the Headhunters, you'll know that there's an album of Eric Clapton's Bluesbreakers posted on the wall, so that's, yeah, and with John Heisman and all those guys, and we kind of got that. I guess Richard probably come up with that title. It probably
exactly where I stole it.
Yeah.
All right, let's check it out. It's Little Miss Bluesbreaker on the point. Little Miss Bluesbreaker. It is Kentucky Headhunters on the point, and Richard and Fred hanging out, and just a little bit about that song. We were talking about that afterwards. What did you say, an amp?
Yeah, there's a guitar amplifier that Marshall Amplifiers made back in the '60s, and it was a spinoff of the John Mayall's Bluesbreakers band, which actually John McVie, who played in Fleetwood Mac, who was a bass player in that band, and Eric Clapton was a guitar player. And of course, John Mayall's taught all these young guys the blues and that sort of thing over in England. And he, by the way, the boys just got home from London last night. We picked them up midnight, and I'm exhausted. But they had 28 sold-out shows in Europe, which I'm proud of. But the amplifier was called the Bluesbreaker. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, when the Headhunters first started, they did a revision of it, of the original, and gave Greg and I one apiece. But I was sitting there one night in the practice house, and I was just trying to think of what kind of little girl, what kind of girl, would just totally mess you up, and I'm thinking of Bluesbreaker, because, sometimes ladies give us the blues, and sometimes they break our heart, and so I thought, and we love them all. Yeah. But anyway.
There you go, yeah, Bluesbreaker. And you guys, of course, have been on the road a lot, and Fred, what's been your most memorable experience on playing the new stuff on the road?
I just enjoy playing the new stuff. I like the feel of it, and it's good to see fresh, get to play fresh songs and see the people respond to them. Yeah, it's kind of like when you first have a band at first bust open, and people's really wild about it. It's a good feeling, Sometimes you might get a cold chill run up your arm about when you feel like you've done something right, Now
you guys went back when you went to the practice house. Of course, doing the record at the practice house is totally different. So, what kind of vibe did you feel when you guys were actually putting that together? Because obviously, you not a lot of influence from big record labels and all this other stuff. What kind of vibe was there?
It's almost like starting a new group, because we're doing something that we know is home, and it's almost like when we just started over, and being in that room and doing something we've never done, got to do it, we wanted to do. It was a thrill to do it.
It was new and fresh. Even though we've done it a million times, we've never exposed it to the public. And so for us to be able to go in that house, you wouldn't believe the tapes we got of us in the house, some of the crazy stuff, and it's great stuff, but will never be released because it was just like on a little handheld recorder or telephone or something that we've done together, and this is the first time that we got to go in there and do it. So like Fred said, it's like to go see people play, when we play these new songs and see that it's that old familiar. Once you've done it once, you know what it feels like, and it's like this familiar cold chill thing you get when you see, everybody in the audience saying the words to songs, and that means that, like he said, you've done something right, or you've connected with people that appreciate what you do. And sometimes you make an album act, and I'll be honest with you, is like if the time's not right, or people not feeling it, or the politics in the world's not right, or the wrong magazines they're reading aren't right, it just goes over their head. And it's not that it's a bad record, it's just that the times have to be so, the stars have got to be so lined up for things to work. And that's why if it was easy, everybody'd do it. It's like, I always say that making a record is like about the odds of it hitting is about like Apollo 13 coming back that time and hitting the atmosphere right, because if it doesn't do that, lost forever. And you can't repair it. And an album's the same way. And some albums sell thousands, some sell millions, and some sell very few thousands. And you got to hit the atmosphere just right, and everybody's got to be in the right mood to hear a certain band or a certain style of music. And I think Fred said it best, that cold chill factor, man's back, and that's what's important.
You have to be in a comfort zone, and it helps if everybody's in that comfort zone when you're doing that. So Boons Farm Boogie, I'm going to do that, and tell us a little bit about how that kind of came together. You said it's been a crowd favorite kind of when you're out playing at this point?
Well, absolutely, but obviously, there's not a person listening to your radio station that doesn't know what Boons Farm wine is, And so, guess what, guys? You're late arrivers, because about 5 generations before you know what it was, because every one of us, when we were teenagers, we had no money, had no car. Some of us had girlfriends or boyfriends, but there was always a bottle of Boons Farm around to be shared. And usually it was Strawberry Hill because that was the girl's favorite. And it would always lighten up things a whole lot, and we get everybody seemed to express themselves much more clearly with Boons Farm. And
I remember one night, of course I'm younger than Greg and Richard, and they drove me to this party in Greensburg, and a Black Oaks album, Keep the Faith, had just come out, and they kept playing it, and as all these people walking around, they had this Boons Farm Strawberry Hill is what it was. Right, yeah. And I was sitting here looking at all this stuff, and it was an experience. But
how old were you then?
I think I was 13.
Yeah, 13. Anthony was how old?
12.
12. And Greg had his driver's license. He was 16. I was maybe, and I was 15.
Maybe.
Yeah. We went up to LSS and them's house, and Billy Judd and a bunch of them, and Madonna Howe. She's married, I'm sure now, has a different name, but they invited us up because they had seen us play at Steve Patterson's party.
Yeah, Lightning's place.
Yeah, and it's like it blew Billy Judd away because Anthony was 11 years old and he was playing as good as Jack Bruce on bass, and we were doing a bunch of cream and stuff, and that's one of those lost stories, man. And we went up to this party, and it was one of those experiences when you're.
Johnny Mitchell was driving us around places.
Yeah, he was a roadie for Ted Nugent. It's kind of like we lived the life of Cameron Crowe in Metcalf and Greene and Barron County. We really did. Yeah. And it's like it was fun, and it's like I guess that's one of the reasons we probably were able to stick this thing out, because you look back on those days and. We got to share. We were with people much older than us, so they were really in the late 60s, early 70s.
When you think of Boons Farm Boogie, you think of Art Crumb and Keep On Trucking and Mr. Natural and all that vibe, Yeah. And it's a cool thing.
Yeah, that was the stuff that, like Fred said, Art Crumb and all those artists and that sort of thing. It was such a different time. And it's a magical time.
It's a boogie time.
It's a boogie time.
That's with a shuffle boogie, man. That was the thing back in the 70s.
Yeah, and Keep On Trucking and all that, and we got to live that. And even though we were kids, we were right in the middle of it. I mean, we'd be in Greensburg, Kentucky, eating slaw burgers, and we never told that in the song, obviously, but we were, Wild Child was beyond what we were. We weren't wild, but we were surrounded by it. And maybe that's why we all stayed pretty straight all of our life. We said, if we do what these guys do, we'll never make it to music. We'll be dead,
Let's check it out. It's Boons Farm Boogie, Kentucky Headhunters on the point.
That's cool.
I'm going up on Strawberry Hill, spend some time in a state of real. Find a good woman, one who won't take pills. Live my life on Strawberry Hill. To the Boons Farm Boogie, to the Boons Farm Boogie. Now people who live Strawberry Hill ain't got no money, they live for the thrill. They raise a little crop just to pay their bills. That's the way of life on Strawberry Hill. They live the Boons Farm Boogie. And we all wanna have a good time. We all wanna live a good life. We're all looking for a cheap thrill. And I found mine on Strawberry Hill. All this boogie on down, y'all. Call it Strawberry Boogie. Boons Farm Boogie, y'all. At the end of the day, about a 25 till, they break open a bottle of that real good feel. They go out in the woods to the dream field.
while they drink that Strawberry Hill, y'all.
And we all wanna have a good time. We all wanna live in the life. We're all looking for a cheap thrill. And I found mine on Strawberry Hill.
I would do the Boons Farm Boogie, y'all. I think we ought to all drink a little of it. Let's get wild, y'all. What do you say? Welcome to our world on Strawberry Hill.
Got the Kentucky Headhunters. It is the point, and just kind of chilling out. Boons Farm Boogie. That's what you were doing a little bit with that Boons Farm Boogie chilling out.
Well, I'm drinking beer tonight, but Boone's Farm was a great thing to grow up on, and you know, I remember this one great story, man. One night is we were down at the practice house, a bunch of our friends from down there, and we had these girls with you were down there, and my mom, she suspected something was up, so she walked up from the house to the practice house, and these girls from Glasgow and you were there, and they was drinking Boone's Farm wine, and we had an old deep freeze out in the yard. I don't know why it was there, and this one girl said, "Come on, Fred, this means you getting a deep freeze." My mama jumped out of the bush and said, "No, you'll smother to death."
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's great.
What am I gonna say?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know. What are we going to play next for 'em?
Oh, we're going to play Dixie Lullabies because it pretty much tells where we've been from start to finish and where we are today. And it's a fun song, and it's kind of like it's almost like us raising our flag again. You know,
Well, it's just there again, man. It's just one of them straight ahead rock songs.
sorry, rock and rollers. That's all we are. You know.
Get off
You
your thing and shake that thing. You know.
Yeah. Here you go.
Let's check it out. It's Dixie Lullaby. Thank you guys for coming out, and that's the title to the new Headhunters record. Of course, Friday night at the Plaza Theater here in Glasgow. So let's check it out. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, sir.
Central Kentucky's rock station, locals only, 107.3 The Point.
It's time to get our rocks off, mama. Swing from the chandelier. Let's all get our mojo winging. Get our ass in gear.